ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Together we chant. अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सर्वश्रुतिशिरोरत्नविराजितपदाम्बुजः वेदान्ताम्बुजसूर्यो यः तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चैतन्यशाश्वतशान्तो व्योमातीतो निरञ्जनः बिन्दुनादकलातीतः तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ज्ञानशक्तिसमारूढः तत्त्वमालाविभूषितः भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदाता च तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अनेकजन्मसम्प्राप्त कर्मबन्धविदाहिने आत्मज्ञानप्रदानेन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। शोषणं भवसिन्धोश्च ज्ञापनं सारसम्पदः गुरोः पादोदकं सम्यक् तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। न गुरोरधिकं सत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। So we are here in this particular verse. Naguroho adhikam tapaha. Tapas in understanding in Vedanta is doing those things which will be out of routine. The very word tap means tap tapati, that which burns. Suryaha tapati, Agnihi tapati. The Surya, the sun burns, or the fire. What is that Surya or sun or the fire is important in our life? It burns impurities. Is it not? When the gold is muddied and then not properly, when the original gold, when it is taken raw, it doesn't have a shine because it's covered by unwanted things, dirt and other things. So when the gold is put into the fire, it burns away all the impurities and the pure gold shines forth. Why do we need the sun? The growth has to take place. Heat, when you put anything in the fire or when you cook and then boil, that unwanted elements get burnt or killed, and what is necessary is alone there. So the purification takes place when the heat of the fire or the sun are used. In the same way, in our life, tapas is that which rectifies our habits. In all religions, tapas is considered as a very important aspect of it, because of which they say, okay, in the Islamic Islamic religion, they say 1 hour of, one whole month of, what is called? Ramadan. Not eating. That's usually what you do. In Christianity also they have. Islam also they have. Jewism they have. Jewish tradition has. Hinduism, of course it has. What is the purpose for which religion teaches us about these austerities? In fact, our Gurudev's Guru is of a man of great austerity. It's called Tapovanam, a very forest of austerity. Because our animalistic habits will take over us and we don't even recognize that. Given to ourselves, we are beasts. We are just creature of habits. We are not able to come out of that unless we pay mindful, we become self-observant. That's why you come out of the routine. Sunday coming is out of the routine for you. That's the tapas for you. Tapo vai Brahma. It is said in the Upanishad, Brahman is obtained. Tapova iman. Tapas is that which is out of routine. We continue to do whatever we have been doing, we become so mindless. And even when we make mistakes, we don't even know that. So Bhagavan Krishna in Gita says, becoming mindful means you must come out of the routine once in a while and watch yourself. That's why he says, Shariram tapaha, Vak tapaha, Manas tapaha, Manasaha tapaha. Tapas at the level of the mind. Manomayam tapaha, Vangmayam tapaha, Sharira tapaha. He explains that very clearly. Deva Dvijaguru Prajna Pujanam Shauchamarjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Cha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam. Worship of the favorite god or chosen deity, a Brahmana or a priest who makes you come closer to the Lord, the Guru who introduces you, the God within you, and the wise people who support such an activity. These people are worthy of worship. When you are in front of a particular form of God and doing a puja, which are you worshipping, the stone or God? Stonaya namaha, goldaya namaha, silveraya namaha. You are not worshipping the stone. Of course, that particular form is made of stone or gold or whatever it is. The concept, the idea of God is what you are worshipping there. Is it not? The idea of God is not in that form. Idea of God is in your head. Your friend comes here, who belong to another culture or another religion, say, hey, you have a nice elephant sitting in your house. Elephant? See that. Hey, that is Ganesha. Who is this guy? Weird looking. Face of an elephant. Body is a body, human. That is our God. So the idea that it is God is not in the visible external form. It is in your head. So the external worship of God is an internal journey towards Him. Externally you are worshipping no doubt a particular form only. But the journey is internal. You understand? So Deva Pujanam, worship of God. Pujanam means puja. When you say Purnatvam Yasma Jayate, iti puja. That because of which self-perfection is attained. Pu also means purity. Putaha means one who has become purified. So that Putatvam, that Purnatvam, that is obtained by a process, that is what is called puja. Puja in feminine, pujanam is neutral. So Deva Pujanam, the worship of God, and Dvija Pujanam, worship of or paying respects to those people who have dedicated their life only for that. Dvija, twice born. Meaning those who have understood the Vedas and then practicing that. Guru who not only chants and makes you come closer to the Lord externally, but introduces you to the Lord within. And Prajna, men of wisdom who support this so that you sustain that inspiration. So Krishna says, Deva, Dvija, Guru, Prajna, Pujanam. Then he continues to say, Shaucham, external purity of the body. Arjavam, being straightforward in your dealings. Brahmacharyam, self-continence and celibacy, self-control. Ahimsa, not hurting people by speech or word or deed. Shariram tapauchate. These are all external, bodily related tapas. And a guru is one, must be an exemplary person, demonstrating this. That's why Naguroho adhikam tattvam, Naguroho adhikam tapaha. Anudvekakaram vakyam. And speech, he says, do not excite people with your speech. And speak those things which are relevant. Trutva satyam priyahitam chayat. What is true, even when it is true, say it sweetly. And do it that which is useful to somebody. Satyam priyahitam. Swadhyaya and self-study. Studying and knowing that what is the right thing to say at the right time. These are all called Vangmaya tapas. So again, coming back to the point, tapas is not done for the sake of showing off to somebody. It is for self-purification, self-correction. So the guru is the very demonstration of that tapas. That's why it said, Naguroho adhikam tapaha. The guru is the one who shows that it is possible to live not according to your own whims, according to your own habits, but every time you correct it. When you know that you are a victim of your own habits, at once you must come out of it. Swami ji, coffee ke bina main uthta bhi nahi. I cannot even get up without a cup of coffee in hand. We have become a creature of habits. Not only in such things, the way we think, the way we do things, everything is as though pre-programmed. As though we have been conditioned, limited by our own mind only. So coming out of that kind of habits, once in a while making a check on it, making sure that you are not conditioned and controlled by the environment around, come out of the routine, see yourself as independent of all that. Be free. Naguroho adik. Oh, she said that, he said that. Oh. Then you are just a person who is being remote controlled. Somebody is controlling outside. Is it not true? You have become such a victim of external situations. So freedom is possible only when we continuously check upon our own attitudes, actions, habits, come out of it. Naguroradhikam tattvam, naguroradhikam tapaha, tattvajnanat param nasti, tasmai Sri Gurave namaha. That's what we saw last session. Continuing. Mannada Sri Jagannatha Madguru Sri Jagadguruhu Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mannada Sri Jagannatha Madguru Sri Jagadguruhu Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Madnataha Sri Jagannatha. My God, my Lord is the Lord of the universe. Jagat. Jagat means Jayate, Gacchati, Tishtati, Iti Jagat. Jagata. There are 3 letters there. Jayate, that which is born. Gacchati, that which at the end it disappears. In between, Tishtati. Not his world. It was not there before, it came into being. Most of the religion believe in that kind of idea. That the world was created, Jayate, at some point of time. And at some point of time, it has to disappear, Gacchati. In between, it appears to be there. The day began few hours back, isn't it? For most of you, it is still in the verge of coming out. So, Jayate, the day has begun. And it has to end in another maybe 10 hours or 15 hours, it has to end. Gacchati. In between, Tishtati. Every day begins and ends. Begins and ends. Similarly, the world also, some point of time was not there, it has come into existence, and some point of time it will disappear from what it is. So this apparently appearing to be there, that is what is called Jagat. It's so vibrantly present so long as you are part of it. So this Jagat is what? The world that appears to be so alive and so real, and this cannot be so without a powerful, intelligent thing that is maintaining this. And don't ask you about the reason. I often say this, like season has no reason. The season has any reason? Why it is winter? It is winter. Why it is summer? It is summer. Why you cannot say, hey, that's how it is. After winter comes the spring, and then spring after that it is in the fall or whatever. So, no, but in the US there are only 3 seasons. Football, basketball, and what else? Throwball, what is it? Baseball. So seasons have no reason. It is there. Sometime. In one way or other. You ask why? What's why? That's what it is. So what cannot be humanly understandable, what is not understood by the human mind, but accepts that it is, that is the nature of the law of the Lord. Whether you believe in a particular being or a power exists, but you understand there is some system exists. Without the system existing, you will never be able to live in this world. Is it not? I often would give this example. I don't know how many of you remember. When I was in Calcutta some time back, 20 years back. So at that time, I was posted there as brahmachari there. So morning I go for a walk. So early morning I got up and I was about to get out of my main center and came out of the gate. And I saw a 10 rupee note lying on the road. Just outside my gate. I mean, it's a morning 6:30, not many people were there in the morning. Looked around, nobody was looking for it. So I took it and put it in my pocket, saying that when I come back, if anybody is looking for it, may I give it. Went out. And after an hour or so, I came back. Nobody was. As a TK, I took it and put it in the kundi, in the temple. I forgot about that the whole day. Somebody might have taken something, it might have fallen. Fine. Next morning, When he came out of the gate, exactly in the same place, was a 10 rupee note. Now I am thinking, how can that be? One can be a coincidence. Second time at the same place, somebody is testing me here. He took the money, looked around. There were many other buildings around, but I did not know who is watching. Chalo, theek hai. He put it there and went. Today I became very thoughtful. Why? Who? What do they want to achieve out of this? Huh? Came back, put it there. Third day, even as I was approaching the gate, my heart was boom, boom, boom. Is the $10 going to be there? 10 rupees going to be there? And lo and behold, 10 rupees. Now I am little careful. This is some play going on here. No, I didn't touch it. Went for a walk and came back. It was still there. Took that money, put it in my pocket, and put it in the hundi. Fourth day, no, I don't want to continue the story. Now, the concept here is, if a thing is happening exactly in the same way every day, what do you conclude? Huh? Something haphazard, chaotic going on. There is intention and there is intelligence. No unintelligent thing will have an idea of intention. Intention comes out of intelligence. Purpose. When I do an action and I understand the purpose, means I am thinking about it. If somebody has put $10 every day, there must be some intention, right? And if intention is there must be a thinking going behind that. If thinking is there must be intelligence. Do you have any doubt whether sun will ever appear on the eastern side horizon at all? Do you have any thought? Do you even have a doubt? I don't think sun has decided not to come today. It may be cloudy, but sun will be there. You may not be able to see it. That's why when I go to East Coast, they say, Swamiji, you people in California, you have no season at all. What do you mean? We see sun all the time. We have season every day. No, I am not talking about it. We have talking about seasons. Anyway, so if that every day without any doubt, whether you like it or want it or know it or think about it, what do you think of that? Is it an unintelligent creation? So whether you call it as a person or a thing, whatever it is, a phenomena, but there is some system. Some system cannot work unless there is somebody who is holding on to the system. Somebody is upholding the system. This somebody need not be a person, as again I say. So this whole concept of Natha, Lord, is what we worship as Bhagavan, the Lord God. And because our mind is so limited that it cannot conceive of an abstract idea, it has to have a particular form. Therefore, the forms have become inevitable for our religious worship. And which form of God is right and which form, that is not of even any discussion at all. Because whatever you understand, if you understand the concept, any form is okay, because form is not important here. The idea is important. That's why our Gurudev will say, behind every idol, there must be an ideal. The ideal is forgotten, you will go on worshipping an idol. It has no meaning. So, Mannataha, the God whom I understand, Jagannatha. You understand that? The understanding that I have, that there is an intelligent principle behind the whole thing, that is the powerful one which sustains the whole creation, Jagataha Nadaha. Is Mannataha. The God whom I understand is the Lord of the universe. And the one who is introducing me to this understanding is Guru. Madguru Sri Jagadguruhu. The Guru is one, it's the most hard task for a Guru is to create faith. You can introduce you to puja, he can make you chant some mantras, he can make you do all, but to create faith is very difficult. You think about yourself. If you say, I believe in this person, I trust this person, did it happen in a day? In 2 days? In 3 days? Even if it is so, any action might destroy that also. What you expect did not happen. Or what you expect out of that person, he did the contradictory to it, then the trust is gone. Is it not happening with your own husband and wife and children and your own friends, etc.? So, to create a trust in somebody, it is such a hard task. In known person, what to talk of? Unknown. How to create that faith in the unknown? Religion, take a shortcut. Create fear. If you don't do it, he will punish you. He will take you to hell. So out of fear, if you create that faith, that's why when you get money, more money, and you can buy things when you want, you are not under somebody, you lose the faith in God. Then I can buy it. I am successful. I did everything. I made all this possible. Who is God? Until IRS calls you. Then again you go back to God. Kya kare abhi? You are physically strong and you are healthy, etc. Yeah, that's what the answer. Oh God, what God, and everything, and then you can do anything. Physically you are strong, you can achieve it. Once you meet with an accident, God forbid, anything. Bhagavan. So faith is the most difficult, especially faith in God, the most difficult to get. Why? Because it's not a person whom I deal with every day. So, one who is capable of creating faith in the heart of the student, he is a real Guru. Madguruhu, Jagadguruhu. My teacher is one who has given me that faith in God whom I don't see. But no, it is there, he is there. That's why in Kenopanishad, the teacher says, if you think you know, you don't know. If you think you know, you don't know. If you know that you cannot know, you know it. Because the teacher is very careful, making sure that you do not have the arrogance, I know. If you have the arrogance, I know, you know only intelligence, you know only intellectual knowledge. Yadi manyase su vedeti, no na vedeti. Yadi manyase na vedeti. Yadi manyase vedeti. If you think that you know, na veda, you don't know. So it is the Guru who makes sure that you do not condition the idea of God as an intellectual idea. Though intellect is the only tool through which we can penetrate to that. That's why it is said in the Upanishad, Sukshmaya Buddhya, by very keen intellect alone you can understand this. But then again, with that keen intellect you go and recognize it, but not realize it. You can recognize it, but not realize it. Realizing is when you give up that also. I know it, but not you are that. Intellectually you will know it. But are you that? So here he says, the Guru is one who is capable of creating a faith in my heart, which is possible through explaining to me intelligently so that my intellect gets convinced. That ultimately asks me to sacrifice that as well to realize that. Mannada Sri Jagannatha Madguruhu Sri Jagadguruhu. And when I realize, based upon the knowledge that is provided to me by the Guru, I reach a point when I know my own self is the self of all. Madatma Sarva Bhutatma. The Lord whom I am worshipping in a temple is recognized as my own self intellectually, but when one recognizes that and practices in his own seat of meditation, comes to realize it, my own self is the self of all. Madatma Sarva Bodhatma. In English, if you look straight in the translations, mad Atma. Not mad Atma, so it is written in English, right? Mad Atma, not mad. Mad Atma. Mad means my. Atma, the self. Here the self is not the physical body or the mind or anything. My own, the core of my own being. The very consciousness, the very awareness in me is the awareness that is there, equally present in all beings, with no difference at all. Sarvabhuta Atma. Sarvabhutanam Atma. Atma Sarvabhuta. In both ways you can look at it. One is Sarvabhutanam Atma, the self of all, or the self which has become all. Sarvabhutanam Atma, the self of all. Sarvabhuta Atma, it just became everything. That which became everything. So the Guru's role therefore is very crucial here, as again and again I point out. It's not just reading the book. That's the difference between Google and Guru. Don't mix up, everything is there, Google Swami, what is the big deal? Google cannot create you faith. In fact, it confuses you most. Mannada Sri Jagannatha. This is most favorite verse for the Orissa people, you know. Jagannath is there. Jagannath की बात करते हैं. Oh, Jagannath here, not the particular. That, of course, it's called Jagannatha because most powerful, as I have told you before, that word Jaggernaut in English came from Jagannath. Jaggernaut means most powerful. You go to the dictionary and check it. Jaggernaut is not coming from the source word is Jagannath, the most powerful. Mannada Sri Jagannatha Madguru Sri Jagadguruhu Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. To that teacher, to that Guru, again teacher is a preacher, only who talks, but Guru is the guide, personally taking this disciple to the destination. It is his responsibility. Guru Madguruhu, therefore Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. To that Guru, my salutations. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhat Bhaved. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha.